Nice. Welcome, everyone. We are starting off today's stream with Renee versus Lost Woods. I am your commentator, 7:09 a.m., and I will be joined by Grayscale HD. Say hi to the team, Gray.
What's going on, guys?
We will be your commentators for today, commentating Renee versus Lost Woods. Renee having won their last match, ready to go really early in the morning. They have warmed up and are prepared to start rumbling. We will be seeing how Lost Woods competes with this team. Both teams ready to go, prepared, not a second of hesitation. How are we feeling about this, Grayscale? Are you excited to see the two teams?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so ready to watch these matches go down. It's going to be interesting to see what other teams do in terms of picks and bans, because the standard is at this point Opera Ivy. So it's going to be interesting to see if any interesting picks get pulled out in the first or second rounds.
Absolutely, I do agree. We're going to start off with the Priestess Seer band. Pretty classic builds for any hunter. Or classic bands. I'm sorry. I am still stuck at playing dual faction. um, we will be starting off strong. We will be throwing an antiquarian and a puppeteer into the permaban right off the bat. Pretty strong. Looks like Renee is going for a good, strong early game. First round, looking to not let up. We will be seeing a first officer ban. Let's see how Renee responds to this ban. It does look like does look like Renee is giving it a good thought. They are discussing what to see for the first officer ban, how to respond to it. They have 12 seconds on the clock. They're locking in a psychologist. Ooh.
Fun.
What are your thoughts on that, Gray?
I was starting to think maybe they're probably discussing a possible rescuer to fill in for that, maybe a mercenary, maybe a gravekeeper, maybe even a wildling. But psychologist is a little surprising. But I'm not upset with it. I kind of like this. I like what they're picking up here.
I think they're going in with the psychologist for the heals.
Banning that mercenary
right away. So
yeah, that's just kind of what happens when you don't pick that rescuer when the first rescuer is banned. Is you get your other strong rescuer banned out as well. But Renee is confidently locking in a gravekeeper right after, so it looks like they probably had that prepared.
Absolutely, it looks like they are prepared right away with the gravekeeper. Although their rescuer pool has been thinned out, it does look like they are going for a survivability team with that antiquarian puppeteer. Psychologist, we'll see what kind of build she carries. We are having the gravekeeper there as well, obviously going to be a rescuer. This is a pretty strong team. We'll see how the hunter decides to react against such a team. It looks like they are kind of potentially preparing for some kind of opera, though. We do have some very, very funny builds here. We got one of them referring to someone running away from their responsibilities, and then a few others: Survivor S, Saver, and then other mech.
Other mech.
Oh, I never knew there were two. Ooh, it does look like they'll be going up against a wax artist on Ever Sleeping Town. Very good fake out from the hunter.
This is a very familiar matchup.
Absolutely. Oh god, I'm getting PTSD already. Sweating over here. Well, let's hope that we don't see another antiquarian stuff the rescue. Like a certain 7 a.m. person. Guys, trust me, it was my alter ego. 7 p.m. just does not know how to rescue. So, that was what happened. Do not look at my direction. I was not the one responsible for that rescue. Super excited to see how the Renee survivors will play around this, though. Let's hope we do get a really interesting matchup. We'll be getting into these spawns now, being able to see what the Renee survivors are planning, plotting up for the wax artist. Already locking in their spawns. Looks like they will be having the psychologist ready for graveyard, rescuer at the top, and antiquarian bottom, and then puppeteer in the center. Looks like the waxers will be taking all the way to the left. to be able to have access to 3 out of the 4 survivors. We have the Gravekeeper, Puppeteer, and Antiquarian, all 3 really strong picks. However, we will see how the wax artist adapts to these kind of situations. Looks like everyone is prepared with broken windows, Antiquarian carrying her flywheel, ready for the wax artist at any moment. Currently, the survivors are likely going to be planning out their routes. Same for the hunter, figuring out who they're going to go first, and so on. What are your thoughts on this, Grayscale?
It does seem like that they are protecting that psychologist as much as possible, considering she, against the wax artist, is a pretty good first chase for the wax artist. So just having all 3 of those survivors that can tank hits and do damage is a really good idea. I was a little confused on the Puppeteer in middle over the Gravekeeper, but it does make a little bit more sense now that I'm like thinking about it. But it really just does come down to how the Renee survivors will play this out.
Yes, absolutely. I do think that the reason they have the Gravekeeper off center is likely to preserve items. Many survivors do not, or many teams do not want their hunter getting the first chase right off the bat. We will be seeing right away the wax artist seems to be going straight for that Gravekeeper, wanting to get their items, but it does look like they will be going back into center. Right away, the Gravekeeper communicates to the puppeteer. Waxar is unable to find the puppeteer as he had already rotated out. Already struggling to find the other survivors. Good job on the Renee survivors, trying to hide around, doing their best to avoid detection. It does look like they will be shifting to getting the Antiquarian into the first chase. She will be heading out first, picking around that 11 area, using her stick to gain enough distance to be able to avoid getting waxed down by the wax artist. It looks like wax artist is priming her wax, so that way it's harder for her to be able to escape. He will be getting a hit here. Antiquarian trying to get as much distance as possible. We will see how this plays out.
Yeah, Psychologist did a really good job, I want to say, making sure that she didn't get found out as well, because then the Black Stars probably would have tunneled her. We do see the Antiquarian going down now, though, near the Fate Gate, and it really is just a gamble on who... It's probably going to be the Gravekeeper, probably rotating in. Yeah, we can see him rotating in. Now the Puppeteer doing a really good job at making sure that he doesn't get found out as well. He is going to wax off that cipher, though.
Yeah, very good on the wax artist, putting pressure on those ciphers, making sure that they don't get any progress on them. Looks like he will be trying to go for that double down, but the Gravekeeper is one step ahead of him, getting as much distance as possible. Ready for that blink. Unfortunately, the wax artist did end up hesitating, so it will look like there won't be a blink being played for the time being. Does get the blink off, though. Really good on the wax artist playing it patient, knowing that there is a very high chance of getting their blink predicted earlier. It looks like there will be a chair on the Antiquarian. He's going to try to chair her a lot near center, to be able to harass these ciphers, to prevent anyone from being able to decode them. But it looks like the survivors are already rotating out of the center cipher to avoid getting harassed, but the wax artist is ready for that, blocking off both center and the Gravekeeper cipher.
Yeah, it does look like it's that middle cipher that is the one that is stuck at 59, which does suck for the survivors, but they also have another cipher at 64 and climbing, as well as the Gravekeeper one at 72. They do need to catch up a little bit on that decoding progress, though.
Absolutely. It looks like they did try to go in for the rescue. They might have probably been pinging Tinnitus. Wanting to sell the Antiquarian, since it does seem like they won't be able to have that efficient of a rebound against the Wax Artist with his blink having only just been used. He will be blocking off some ciphers. Good job on the Puppeteer, seemingly avoiding the Wax Artist's detection for some time, but it does look like the Wax Artist does end up mind gaming him. Really unfortunate for the Puppeteer. Does end up baiting out the puppet. Ooh, beautiful timing, beautiful time call from the wax artist, being able to memorize how long it takes for the Puppeteer to have his puppet down. We will be seeing him trying to get the puppeteer down. Blocks off the pallet. Really unfortunate for the puppeteer. Unable to do much here, as this is an open area. However, it does look like the survivors are already catching up on ciphers. They are only needing one last cipher to be able to compete with this team. Lost Woods Hunter doing a really good job keeping patient, blocking off ciphers and such. Especially that center cipher we see. It is looking potentially like a tie game if the survivors play their game well.
Yeah, that was a really good job on the survivors being able to catch up on those ciphers. Sometimes you just have to sell in order to catch up, and it does look like that the antiquarian over there is going to start pressuring that last cipher, and it is steadily climbing. I do also want to say a great prediction from the wax artist for the timing on the Lewis. That can be really hard for hunters to understand sometimes, especially in the mid tiers. So having that patience and just waiting it out was a really good job from Alva here.
Absolutely, very well done. It does look like the psychologist is priming that cipher already. Gravekeeper keeping his distance, not wanting to get found early. It looks like he will be going in for that rescue though. Going around, making sure not to catch detection from the wax artist. It does look like, manages to get the back door from the wax artist. Really good job. The cipher will be primed by now. Oh, it does look like the puppeteer will be relocating into a better area. And Gravekeeper already positioning himself ready for the hit. Ooh, really unfortunate. Barely misses the hot wax, but it does look like unfortunate pop from the survivor side. But it looks like the puppeteer will be facing the end of his game. He will be eliminated from the game. Looks like, however, the Gravekeeper is already ready for the situation. How It does look like the Gravekeeper wasn't expecting much for the wax artist to find him, but I think he might have potentially forgotten about his blood trail. However, he is one step ahead of him, ready with his shovel. It does look like the psychologist is almost about to open the gate. They may be able to clutch this dungeon.
Yeah, as long as Gravekeeper does stay in the shovel here, it looks like he can get out of the dungeon with it.
Yeah, very well done on the survivor side.
Long time.
Absolutely, yeah. Very good job on the survivor side, managing to get that tie. Very beautifully done.
Yeah, they played super well, but just very strongly.
Yeah, remedying a really off situation.
Yeah, a tie against a wax artist is pretty common, so the results aren't super surprising. However, both sides played absolutely beautifully, and it was definitely an exciting match to watch.
Absolutely. The blink predict into the blink bait was probably one of the most, and probably very detrimental parts both to the hunter and the survivors. Simply because, had that blink managed to get predicted, then the hunter would have been in a really bad situation. Especially against an antiquarian who can stun the hunter into losing, the ability to swing for the time being. So we did see quite an interesting play from both the wax artist and the antiquarian. Beautifully done from both sides. A prediction into a prediction.
Yeah, I will say, I want to say that prediction from the antiquarian, while nice, it did bait out that flywheel, meaning that the wax artist knew that he could go for a blink and have himself not be predicted with it anymore. So that was really smart from the wax artist and just unfortunate a little bit for the antiquarian. But she did manage to survive a little bit longer afterwards, which gave just a little bit more of that decoding progress to the team.
Absolutely. I cannot find you in the. Oh, there you are. You were hiding away from me, like I hide from my responsibilities, like the wax artist. All right, we will be seeing the now Renee Hunter walking in, going up against the Lost Woods survivors. I'm super excited to see how this will also play out. Same map, we will be seeing how they will adapt to said map. Now that they've seen how the Renee survivors play, let's see how their hunter will adapt to the Lost Woods survivors.
Yeah, for all we know, we could see a complete mirror match here. It does look like we are going to see a mirror ban, though, in the Priestess ban. Priestess and Mercenary, actually, giving room for that Seer to come out. But the question is, when will they global ban the Seer? Probably not. But will they also give that opportunity to have Seer be banned later on? Going with a Perfumer ban is all or pick is very interesting as well.
Absolutely. Ever since Perfumer had fallen out of the strong meta, we haven't really seen her as often compared to many other characters. However, they do seem to be debating putting in a Perfumer. Let's see what other survivors they choose to pick to counter the Hunter's bans. But with the Priestess and Mercenary, it looks like they may be trying to bait that Seer into the global ban. Ooh, they will probably be taking that Seer. Seer and Dancer will be into the global ban, which means they will be sacrificing the Dancer as well alongside the Seer. We will see how the Hunter decides to counter this in terms of their bans.
Yeah, we may. Yep, I was about to say we may see another first officer ban just because no rescuers were picked, but you also don't want to global ban any rescuers, so it makes sense why they held off on that. Gonna see another Gravekeeper.
Ooh, super exciting with the Gravekeeper. We are seeing two Gravekeeper plays back to back. We will be seeing how they decide to use him in contrast to the Renee survivors. We will be seeing a Wildling ban as well,
Ooh.
another rescuer. So it looks like they are banning away the rescuers, Merc, First Officer, and Wildling. But they will be remedying this with a patient.
Judging from the
We
bans, it does kind of seem like it's going to be a single hit hunter because a lot of those characters can either avoid hit or take multiple hits at the same time.
Absolutely. So we are seeing them try to remedy this with a Gravekeeper and a Seer. Both characters that can not only take an extra hit themselves, but can a Seer who can give extra hits to their other teammates, and Gravekeeper, who is very common to body block with. We also have a Patient who can pretty much do a lot in the graveyard area, and then Dancer who we will likely see spawned in middle to be able to support the team. I'm very excited to see how the Lost Woods survivors will play this out.
Yeah, it is going to be a very interesting matchup with these picks, especially with these bans. I can't wait to see who the Renee Hunter is planning to play, considering that these are all very strong characters that he banned. And at the same time, like you said, we do still have characters who can tank multiple hits and give multiple hits in the Seer and the Gravekeeper. And I really am interested to see what this first or what this dancer and what this patient can do. It is going to be an opera singer.
Ooh.
Why are we surprised?
It's like me being surprised that I'm going to have to pay taxes. Ah,
Nah,
yes.
for
I
real.
can't wait.
It's
Somehow I manage to
wonderful.
be surprised every time. Let's see how we manage to see how the Renee Hunter chooses to bring out their opera against this team. A decent team against opera. They will be having the dancer spawn off center though. It looks like they are going for the Tetris shape. Having the patient near the top. Oh, they decide to switch near the end, having the patient all the way in dancing geisha. Dancer in front of the graveyard, gravekeeper center, and then the seer in the fake gate. Looks like the Alpha will be right away blocking off that patient from the god type, not wanting to deal with a patient in there. Especially with all the hooks that patient can pull off.
Yeah, it will. This is a very smart move from the opera singer, and these are pretty standard spawns other than the Gravekeeper and Dancer. Usually, when you have a Dancer, you do want the Dancer spawning middle, so that way the Dancer can set up middle for whoever is kiting. But they may have a plan with having the Dancer spawn near the graveyard, because maybe they might have her set up graveyard while patient is transitioning there. Who knows? we'll just have to wait and see what the Lostwood survivors do against this opera singer.
Absolutely. Super excited to see how they will counter this opera singer, or how the opera will decide to play around the survivors. We will see how this match goes in a few seconds. I'm ready to get into it. Let's see how both sides decide to play. Super excited for it. Then we will see how it plays out.
Yeah, this is going to be one heck of a match. I can already tell. In order to tie the match,
Absolutely.
the opera singer does need a tie, but depending on how the Renee Hunter plays, it could be a very easy 3 or 4K. But it all just depends on how well the survivors play as well.
Absolutely. Opera Singer being a very strong character in the current meta. We will see how she plays against this type of team. So starting off, we do see her already zigzagging. This opera singer clearly already knows how to play. Very good opera. Very strong dashes right away. Already going straight into the Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper managing to get that shovel off. We will be seeing the Owl already catching his appearance. Gravekeeper going through that pallet. Very dangerous decision, especially against an opera singer. Beautiful hit from the opera. Very quick opera singer, not willing to take a single chance. Um, very, very good job on her part. She is unrelenting. She is willing to take this Gravekeeper down. Very committed. Unwilling to let him go. Ooh, it does look like the opera singer will be getting stuck in one of those shadows. Gravekeeper taking good advantage of this. Um, he's making as much distance as possible. Ooh, looks like the opera does end up missing one of her dashes, though. This will buy the Gravekeeper a really, really long time, considering opera's movement speed is quite slow.
Yeah, very interesting going for the Gravekeeper first, but it does eliminate their Tide Turner. So that does make a lot of sense to do. And it, from what we can see, nobody else on the team does have Tide Turner, and Sierra's forced to rotate out as the Gravekeeper did die on that Cypher machine. And it looks
Yeah,
like the Opera Singer
absolutely.
already knows where the Seer is at and can scope him out immediately, so that's fun.
It does look like this will be potentially a very quick rescue. Seer already having his owl baited, or not his owl, pardon, his flywheel baited out. It's going to be very difficult for the Seer to be able to push the Cypher, as the Gravekeeper is still in the Cypher. Good job on the Opera. Pushing him towards it, forcing the survivors to create a new Cypher altogether. Seer is in a really tough spot, unable to do his previous Cypher, and injured, so unable to rescue either. It does look like the opera singer, however, is prepared just in case anyone tries to come in for the quick turnaround. They wanting to catch any rescuer early. It does look like we will be seeing the dancer going in, ready to dupe the opera, going around. The opera will be going in right away, getting the double down. A beautiful job from the opera, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it does look like that the Dancer does go down. Oh, but the Seer Owl coming
Oh,
in a beautiful moment. I do want to say, though, it does suck that the Gravekeeper died by Fate Gate, considering that that Cypher is at 79. But we see the Gravekeeper moving into the middle, where the Dancer has beautifully set up a bunch of slow boxes, meaning that it is going to be harder for the Gravekeeper to go down. But he does go down anyways, considering it's still an opera singer. And it looks like they do heal up the female Dancer, and Gravekeeper is now dead on chair. Opera's probably going to take the time to break some of these slow boxes. Yep. And for all we know, she's probably going to go back and try and find that Dancer, considering she is the one who is low on health. But it's all just a game of chance at this point if the Renee Hunter can find her.
absolutely. At this point, it will be a huge. Oh, but the dancer has already set up a box, meaning that the opera will be
Oh, the
able to get
blink!
a find her right away. Beautifully done. Opera managing to adapt quickly. However, it looks like this here did go back to that cipher, popping it as soon as possible. He will. It looks like they will be going for the rescue. Oh no, that was the patient. Looks like the seer is on his way to find a new cipher. They are really unlucky with these cipher spawns, though. Looks like seer is in a complete dead zone or cipher dead zone. Not a single cipher in sight. It will be looking like the opera will miss one of her dashes, but she is prepared for that. Going in, teleporting away to be able to catch up with the patient. Patient, however, is one step ahead of her. able to catch up, positioning himself right next to that female dancer, able to get that in. Oh, manages to get the pallets done. Beautiful job from the patient, buying the dancer a ton of time. However, the opera singer is not willing to let up just yet. The dancer is in the three pallet area, a good area. However, it is not that strong anymore now that that pallet is gone. Center pallet now being gone as well is really difficult. This area doesn't have much to work with now. The dancer will be put in a pretty bad situation. It looks like the seer may have to go in for the next rescue. Patient is half health, but the seer has already been found early. We'll see how he plays this rescue.
Yeah, it does look like that Seer once again had his cipher chaired on, because it's most likely that corner house cipher that the Seer was trying to decode. And that was just unfortunate having all the resources gone in middle by the time that the dancer got there. And it was a beautiful terror shock too. I do want to say that.
Absolutely. Ooh. Good job on the double down. We will be seeing a new cipher being decoded though.
Oh, looks like she's just chairing.
Yeah, it looks like she's not aware of the cipher percentage. Not being informed of where the original cipher was. So it's best she play this situation safe, not wanting to deal with the seer potentially getting popped up. So this situation is looking pretty good for the hunter. If they can just catch that dancer off guard, or push off the survivors from the cipher, then they will be good. But looks like the survivors are already preparing for a one-man escape. Um, However, we will see them trying to go back for into that rescue. Dancer, however, does get caught early, but the opera is unwilling to let up just yet, paranoid of the patient coming in last second.
I will say this is a very good chair for the opera singer because it's
Oh,
the tram hit.
manages
As
to get the hit though before the tram teleports to the survivor on the cipher. Really good from the opera singer. This is looking like a 4K for the Renee team. Um, ooh, beautiful mind game from the opera. Oh,
misses
unfortunately,
the hook though.
does not make the hook. That is really unfortunate. It does look like this will be the end of the Lost Woods team's game, with the Renee Hunter coming out victorious. We will be seeing how the survivors play this endgame, seeing if the dancer is able to pop up. Though it does look like she might have potentially already used her self heal earlier in the match. She is going.
Maybe
She really
there
has
was her using her self heal instead of getting healed by a teammate.
absolutely. That does look to be the case, though. It looks like the opera is willing to spend the extra time cheering the dancer
The
near the
patient does get
patient.
up though.
Absolutely, it does get a glimpse of the patient, though. The patient is beelining it straight for the dungeon, though. This is a pretty bad area with opera, simply because this area does not have that many shadows that she can jump towards. It does look like the patient does make it into dungeon, though. Beautifully done, managing to get that last second dungeon. Well done on the Lost Woods survivors, and a beautiful job from the Renee Hunter managing to get that team down. Very, very well done.
Yeah, very beautiful job from the Renee Hunter. And I do want to finish my thought from before the tram hit, if we don't mind. I was gonna say that the chair that the seer was on was a very, very good chair for the opera singer because it allowed her to pressure two of those ciphers at once, meaning that they couldn't start that other corner house cipher unless they wanted to risk getting hit by the opera singer. And with all of them being at half health, that would not have been a good situation for anyone.
Absolutely. The opera singer was doing a great job pressuring ciphers, hitting survivors right next to them, downing them next to them, zoning them away into those areas. Really beautifully done. It puts the survivors in a really, really hard spot, being forced to do new ciphers, and then having them stall for others. The
Yeah, I feel
overall,
really bad for that seer during that match, though. He just kept getting died on his cipher. He kept having to
that
rotate,
poor
and
seer
that's
could
frustrating.
absolutely, that poor seer could not catch a break.
The
Uh,
poor seer, man.
He was just sitting there looking at his teammates, wondering, "Why are you like this? Why would you do this to me?
He
Why
was
have you
trying his
forsaken
best.
me?" He really was. He
And
was
to top
going
it
around
all up, he
mad.
was the second one to die.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that the seer did end up going out. That was a beautiful owl on the seer's part, though.
That
Unfortunately,
was
it
a
was an
great
opposite.
owl.
Yeah, it
You
was
don't get
an
a lot of
opposite.
good owls nowadays. So seeing that
Absolutely.
owl so beautifully done, just it warms my heart. Give me faith in humanity.
Gives me faith in the IDV community.
Absolutely.
Yes, quite. In this small little community that I unfortunately call home, and so does my wallet. Oh God, I need a new hobby.
So do I.
Oh my God. Well, we will be seeing the next round. So this first round, it looks to have gone to the Renee survivors and Hunter to the Renee team. So we will be seeing how the team, or how the survivors and the hunters from both sides plan to play the next round and what they have in store for us.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see round two, as it does look like both of these teams are pretty evenly matched up. It was just unfortunate that the Renee Hunter did decide to go opera singer. It can be very hard to deal with an opera singer, and so that was just an unfortunate pick for the Lost Wood survivors. However, I do believe that they can try and pull it back in the next match.
I do agree. There is still hope for the Lost Woods survivors. They are unrelenting, unwilling to give up. So I expect a great match between them for the next round as well. They put up a good fight against that opera singer, so we will be seeing how they decide to go up against the next hunter that they will be facing.
This hunter definitely is very skilled. The Lost Woods hunter is definitely very skilled, especially with that wax artist. We saw great things from the wax artist. Um, but it was just unfortunate that the Renee survivors were able to continue rotating him until into complete oblivion, honestly. Because he could not find anyone for a good couple seconds at the beginning of that match, just because everyone knew where to go, how to rotate. Very skilled from the Renee survivors. Very, very good from their survivors.
Absolutely. The Renee survivors did a great job repositioning themselves away from the wax artist, making it so one of the strongest kiters does end up getting chased, which caused the wax artist to lose a lot of time against that antiquarian. A beautiful use of items. However, the wax artist was one step ahead, and then we do see a great display of skill in that wax artist. And then, same thing, responded in kind with the Renee's Hunter, the opera singer. Beautiful dashes, absolutely well done, and managing to get that gravekeeper down almost instantly. Very well done on them.
Yeah, both teams are playing incredibly strong right now. So these are very exciting matchups, and I cannot wait to see who the hunters and survivors choose to bring out next. Maybe we can actually see a first officer or a mercenary.
Oh, perhaps once in a blue moon. Uh,
Once in a blue moon, we may be able to see them. Who
First
knows?
officer mercenary now, but a long, long lost, distant fairy tale from beyond the grave, unable to get in a single lick of content in the stream. We are just not having a good day, at least for those Gravekeeper or not Gravekeeper, sorry, Gravekeeper lovers are frothing at the mouth right now. They are happy, they are living the life. And the mercenary and first officer lovers are just not having a
We're
good
being
day.
starved. We're being starved.
Absolutely not a lick of content for you guys. Absolutely no rights allowed. Zero possibility of getting your merc or first officer in the match.
Ah,
No rights whatsoever.
no rights, man. No rights. Rescue
Even
names. We don't have rights. We don't have rights.
even wildlings are not allowed. Not in this household.
Not even wildlings are allowed.
Not even wildling is safe from this situation. It's quite unfortunate. Um, they really do not love rescuers. They just want to get them out of the meta. They are off with the rescuers. They say, not in
Down
my
with the rescue
Christian
meta.
household. Down with the rescue meta. Oh
Pretty sure we
God,
lost the rescue meta after Koa 4. It's been down.
absolutely. Yeah. See, back in my day, we would have 4 rescue, 4 mercenaries, and 5v5. Those were good old days. We would
Oh,
definitely
that's
get reported
awesome.
once or twice by the hunter.
Oh, could you imagine? That decoding would be awful, though.
Yeah, ever since his nerf, it was never the same. So now we play 4 mechanics instead. We still lose. It turns
We
out
are
4
gonna
Georges are
see
not good
a
enough.
spear ban from the side of Lost Woods. Also a psychologist, which is very interesting, but understandable.
Yeah, it's quiet. We will be seeing they do not want to deal with that healing. They will be banning the opera singer right off the
Also
bat.
do not want to deal with the opera singer. Very smart.
Yeah. They are
Very
not respecting the wax artist. They said, oh, you have a wax artist? Well, guess what? We major in pottery. You are about to get molded. Oh my god. Wow, that was horrible. Please ignore any possible attempts
You
of
have a
making
wax
that joke
artist?
work.
We're skilled in candle making. Bring it on.
Absolutely. We will be melting you. We will be roasting you over an open flame with this
They are
barmaid and
gonna
acrobat.
they are gonna pick Barmaid and Acrobat as global bans, which does make sense. If you listen to psychologist, Barmaid is definitely a great substitute. And Acro is just a good kiter as well. We are in Arms Factory, so if you let that Acrobat have Shack, it is going to be a nightmare. Finally, we're seeing a first officer
Oh my
coming
god,
in
a
after
lick
a
of first
Gravekeeper
officer
ban.
content.
All you first
Finally.
officer mains, get ready.
Oh wait, a lawyer ban. It looks
Lawyer
like this hunter
ban.
does not want any information going through the Renee survivors. They want to cut off as much contact with each other as possible. Um,
That
we will
rotation
be
scarred them.
absolutely. That rotation was really well done from the survivors. We will be seeing how they choose to remedy this lawyer pick, though. Um, they did ban a seer as
Cheerleader.
well. Ooh. It looks like they are going for a survivability again, first officer and a cheerleader who is likely potentially going in for that strong support. These are really difficult characters to chase the acrobat, first officer, and cheerleader, which means they will likely be throwing the barmaid in for the first kite.
I love the demi broken build.
Absolutely. The one that
Great
has
man.
me absolutely cackling is the acrobats build.
Oh
Looks
yeah,
like we can
absolutely.
definitely not tell this is a Genshin player. And no, not at all. Very, very difficult to tell. I just have a hunch, guys. Um, do not
It does
question
look
me.
like the cheerleader is bringing flywheel. Demi broken can mean anything. It could mean it their own Sui build. It could mean that they have broken windows. It could mean flywheel. It could mean anything at this point.
Absolutely, it could mean that they're ready to break the hunter's ankles, demi broken
Oh
ankles. Oh, we will.
my
Oh, will we get
god!
a mad eye? Will
Please,
we get a
please lock
mad
me in. Please lock this in, Alpha. This is gonna be the no
No, we will not be
on
getting any
brand
mad eyes
though.
content today.
We
Our
got
hearts are
debated.
shattered.
We got debated.
Got absolutely played.
We
Not
got
a
played,
lick of
man.
mad eye content.
It's on brand for their name, but come on, man.
My goodness, they kept us lost in the woods. They
Kept us
really did
on
keep
our
us apart for
toes.
this one. We will be seeing a hermit play though. Super excited to see how the Renee survivors plan to play against this one. Um, I'm still going to be very much brokenhearted from that Mad Eyes bait. I will forever
Absolutely.
cry about that one. I'm going to cry myself to sleep for that. Crying Father Mad Eyes, please come pick me up. I am scared.
Other mad eyes.
Father Mad Eyes.
We are gonna see the L spawn coming in from the survivors. Barmaid up top, first officer in the middle, cheerleader at the bottom, and acrobat by a factory. Factory.
Factory. It does look like the Alva is positioning himself a little bit more unpredictably. Wanting to get a good grasp of those 3 survivor stakes will make it harder for the survivors to be able to tell who the Alva goes after. Um, it will be less. It will kind of run. I'm sorry, am I dyslexic? They will be having a few feathers ruffled here because their routes will have to be getting replanned away from the Alva, trying to figure out how to not run into each other. This can be definitely difficult. If the cheerleader gets chased, she might have to rotate into either the acrobat or the first officer if the rotations are not pre-established. So we are getting into the match already. Super excited to see what's going on. Um, let's see if the hermit can remedy my broken heart for the Mad Eyes.
Of course, wearing the school skin as well. Because why
Absolutely.
wouldn't
For a
you be?
second there, I was about to say I did not know they were actually playing Joseph. Old men are certainly in the meta.
Certainly, especially after that Joseph 4K that we saw earlier today. It does
Oh,
look like he is
absolutely.
going into the direction of Factory, but the survivors are doing a good job staying out of sight. It does look like the acrobat is going to get found out soon, though.
Ooh, it looks like the hermit will pause for a second and get um those polarities on the ciphers. Oh, beautiful mind game from the hermit. Absolutely well done. Great patience, managing to get that early polarity on the acrobat. Now the survivors are definitely going to have to be very careful with this. They have 3 seconds on the polarity before they can switch. We will see how they choose to play this. Acrobat already ready with one of his items. He does get stunned out though. We will be seeing the barmaid, however, tank a hit for him. Looks like the Renee survivors already have a pre-established way of splitting the damage, but the hermit is not ready to let up just yet. Ooh! Oh my god,
Ooh,
absolutely beautiful, very quick, not giving the Renee survivors any time to react, but it does look like the cheerleader was still ready and managing to tank that hit still. Beautifully done from the survivors.
beautiful attempt for the firebomb from the acrobat, but it's just not quite going to reach. I will say though,
Ooh!
the barmaid is not going to be super useful against this Alva, considering how many times that he can spread the damage over how many times barmaid can heal. Honestly, big controversial. A doctor definitely probably would have been better in this situation if they had understood that he was going to be playing hermit, but you also do have to require going off your cipher and healing with the doctor. But doctor can also just
Ooh!
heal herself as well. Going down the acrobat is, I don't know why I spoke like Yoda there. Is going to be chaired near the factory dungeon spawn, which is very close. It looks like the first officer is already here giving tinnitus, though. So that may just keep the Alva in place to
Yeah,
make
it
sure
does
that these
look.
survivors can focus on
Ooh!
decoding, considering the way that Alva just slows down the decoding by so much.
Absolutely. Switching out the ciphers, making sure to get every single cipher a percentage to buy as much time as possible. We will be seeing that beautiful rescue from the first officer, but he will be trying to get that double. Oh, that was not the first officer. That was the acrobat. Beautiful eyes from the hermit, able to tell which one is which, not letting that mind game catch up to them. It will be looking like the acrobat will be taking a hit here, but the barmaid is ready, already splitting damage, making sure to not let the acrobat die, wanting to keep him alive for the sake of not having to pay extra taxes or do more paperwork for the sake of his funeral. We will be seeing Acrobat kind of taking a little bit of an unusual route.
Oh,
Oh,
getting
absolutely
stuck!
beautiful from the Acrobat, but unfortunately the Alva was one step ahead of him, able to figure out what kind of trick he was trying to pull. Really unfortunate for the survivors though. Their health is really, really taking a hit here. The first officer, very little health, but it does look like the barmaid is already ready to remedy him. He will barely be able to make it past the point where Hermit can one-shot him. So he will be able to take 2 hits, hopefully. It does look
It
like the
does look
barmaid will
like,
be trying to go in.
yeah, but it does
Oh,
in response look like the barmaid is out of Dovlins. She only has her speed drink left, and it doesn't seem like the survivors are going to go in unless I'm blind. Uh, no, never mind. The first officer is there. No, he's not. They're
so
selling.
me and Grayskull do seem to be suffering
We're
from
both
the
blind
Glock,
today.
and by the Glock I mean glaucoma. Oh,
Oh,
beautiful! The
good job from the
cheerleader
cheerleader
man,
just being just far away enough to not take that
absolutely.
hit. God, we are not okay right now. But it is a great job from the cheerleader being able to get so much distance. Alva can indeed close that distance whenever he feels like it, but here he goes. But for now, the cheerleader does appear to be safe. They are at one cipher left,
Ooh.
with one at
Uh,
82 right now, so that's really good from the survivors. But
Absolutely,
it
but it does look like the survivors are in a little bit of a pickle. They are sharing connections. However, they can only take one more hit before they both start to get dangerously close to low health. They have not managed to make it to a cipher yet. It does look like the Alpha
oh,
manages to struggle out. He was not able to find a chair nearby. As the acrobat might have already taken that chair, it does look like the cheerleader will have time to get away. But unfortunately, the Alpha is prepared. They will be taking an extra hit. This is really dangerous for the survivors because they will really he just need to get one more hit, a red hit on that cheerleader, and they're going to be in a really tough situation. But the cheerleader is one step ahead of them, already ready, going through those walls.
it did look like that the charge that the Alva tried to get onto the cheerleader did miss and got stuck on this little fence area right there. But the cipher is primed and they are going to pop it now.
Ooh, absolutely
So
beautiful
beautiful trade
pop.
from the cheerleader.
Gets
Teleport.
the teleport through. And unfortunately does end up running into the first officer though. Really difficult to catch him when he's in his watch. It does look like the Alva is trying to bait out that watch, but the first officer is unrelenting, unwilling to let that Alva get the last laugh. Still kind of running around. Ooh, barely. Oh,
Beautiful
beautiful
second
use of the
watch
pocket
from the
watch.
officer. I could learn a little bit from
Beautiful
this.
use of routing, risking it all just for the possibility of making it all. But unfortunately, the Alva is still one step ahead of him as well. Beautiful predictions from this hermit that we're seeing. Um, we do see him barely miss in the eyeball, but we will be seeing the first officer get as much distance as possible. Beautiful bait in from the pallet, baiting going into the pallet and then turning away. Unfortunately, it does look like the first officer is in a bit of a situation. Does get hit last second. He will be going away from the primary door though, not wanting to jeopardize his teammates' escape. However, the gates are going extremely slow. Really difficult for them to be able to make it. Uh, looks like the tank did manage to. It double saves the survivors. However, this is really difficult for them as only one of them is showing themselves. The other one is hiding to try to see if the hunter will go back for the chair. Survivor is still unwilling to go for the gate. Looks like the barmaid will be trying to make it, but it's really risky. Unfortunately
The
for the
cheerleader has
cheerleader,
the
she
crows.
will be getting crows. Yes.
Barmaid is trying to decide if she wants to go for the rescue or go for the gate. Both of them are in a
Ooh.
situation. This could be a Hermit 4K.
This could be, yeah, this could potentially be, I would say, a 3K. The cheerleader does end up getting caught. Beautiful prediction from the cheerleader, managing to make a good amount of distance. Very well done, trying to go in for that fast fall. Oh, we do see a beautiful flywheel. She is surviving, getting that. Oh, very well done from the cheerleader. This is some of the best cheerleader gameplay we have seen in a while. The Alva going quick with those hits, but the cheerleader also quick with the predictions. And
Teleporting
beautifully
back to
done.
the gate. It does look like in the time that the cheerleader was kiting that the first officer was rescued. He is going to be discovered again at the gate, though. But can he play this out? He has no more resources to work with, and he doesn't have any kiting build resources to work with as he's the one who brought Tide Turner. He is going to go down here, but the other two are already making their way to that other gate, which is going to be opened by the barmaid. So this does look like it's going to be another tie from Alva here.
Yeah, beautiful from the Renee survivors, managing to play that beautifully well, spreading out, making sure one of them stays hidden, uh, to make the hunter question whether they're going in for the rescue or not. Beautifully done. We have seen some of the great gameplay with the hunter and survivors. Game of the predictions, really. Game of Thrones has nothing on these teams. Alva doing some great back and forth with the mind games, beautiful mind games, and then beautiful polarity uses, quick and very decisive. Yet the survivors are also one step ahead, ready to adapt accordingly. We saw with the acrobat there with the quick polarity switches, the barmaid was ready to take that hit right away. Um, or not the barmaid, sorry, the cheerleader. And then we saw great kites from the cheerleader, absolutely beautiful. Not letting that Alva get anywhere close to them. But yet the Alva still managed to do a great job near the end game and early game, especially with those mind games. Absolutely phenomenal. The standstill game is absolutely great with this man.
I will say that Alva did a really good job pressuring at the end game there. Just being able to have that chair in the middle and also be super close to the gate that the barmaid was trying to open, as well as that cheerleader kite. You did say that this was some of the best cheerleader kite or gameplay that we have seen so far, and I have to agree. That cheerleader did do a really good job. I wouldn't be surprised if they play cheerleader in rank all the time.
Absolutely. It was actually very. Oh, Grayscale, it does look like we
Oh,
will be seeing you as the hunter. Super excited to see how you're going to
you
play
do
this
not want my
out.
fool's gold. You do not want my fool's gold. It's dangerous.
Oh no, you're Fool's Gold. I have heard that you're the top Fool's Gold in China servers, so it's good to
As
stay
one is
humble.
China.
Oh my god. But
God, that's not the first time that's happened to me this tournament too. But that's a sad thing.
lovely. It's your calling to become a hunter main. See, it looks
I
like the
know.
the
I
Renee
know.
Renee Hunter is ready to take inspiration from you. All fired up, prepared to take as much knowledge from their commentators. We are quite knowledgeable in the sense of sitting in a corner and crying about taxes. Very, very,
Absolutely.
very inclined. Um, so we will be seeing the Lost Woods survivors going up next against the Renee Hunter. We will be seeing again how the Hunter decides to play this. This is Arms Factory. It is a very strong map for survivors because, pardon, because there are a lot of high walls, but it does mean there's a lot more potential for mind games for the Hunter.
I do want to say that two of the strongest survivors on this map, the dancer and the seer, are global banned, so they do not have them for this matchup. We are going to see another priestess mercenary ban. This hunter seems to really be afraid of mercenary, and respect, bro. Um,
Absolutely, but it does look like Grayscale will be having to start crying in the corner by the end of today. I will be having to comfort them as they cry in their bathtub. On and
respect.
on about no mercenary content
They are
whatsoever.
respect banning that opera singer. Just because they got 4K'd by that opera singer, which means that the Renee
3K.
Hunter has 3K, sorry. Where's my brain right now? They
Oh
wasn't
god,
3K
we
by
are
the opera
not.
singer, possible 4K. So they do not want to risk that again. They do need at least a tie right now. So that makes sense. They are going to lock in first officer and psychologist for global ban. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a rescue global ban.
Oh yeah, I was about to say rescuer global band this early. That is very interesting. That is one of the earliest times I've seen that as well. You only really see patient get global banned that quickly. But it looks like the Lost Woods survivors have something that we do not. We are not prepared for what they know. Um, their knowledge is unending and unrelenting, and we are simply peasants among peasants in their kingdom of knowledge.
They are going to be locking in an Antiquarian, which does make sense. Antiquarian is one of the best harassers in the game right now, especially if she is first chased, considering she can just use that staff to not only get distance, but to prevent the hunter from even swinging for a short period of time.
Absolutely.
They are going to ban a barmaid, which does make sense, considering barmaid can just give a drink and the person kiting can still continue to kite as they're being healed.
Absolutely. However, the survivors have already planned for this, locking in that psychologist right away. However, this does mean they will not have her for future matchups. Um, looks like we will be finally selecting the last character. It will be a patient. We will be seeing a psychologist patient duo. We will be able to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. If the patient does go in for that rescue on the psychologist, it is going to be a increase in rescue time, as well as they have the dash that they can do to each other. So that could really pull a psychologist or a patient out of a sticky situation if one of them is even nearby, which is why these two are usually not paired together in tournament. One of them is usually banned, so you can't play them together.
Yes, absolutely. In Arms Factory as well, this is a pretty tough map considering if played correctly, if positioned right, we can have one of them kiting and then have the other have somewhere around the center and helping the other transition through open areas. That can be a really dangerous duo if used correctly. Um, we will be seeing the patient almost locking in a mechanic build. Very interesting. We will be seeing a Merc build. That is the only semblance of Merc content you will ever get in this entire tournament, Grace. So I do apologize. I
Dang.
will be sending money to your GoFundMe for your therapy.
We are going to see both First Officer and... Oh no, the patient looks like he changed his build to his... So it looks like his... Oh, it is still Tide Turner, but it's not the same Tide Turner build. And it looks like...
It will be the Sigma rescue build. This patient is ready. He is ready to mew his way into victory.
It is going to be a Night Watch.
Skibidi song or whatever. I don't know slang. I'm so sorry.
It is going to be a Night Watch. This is going to be the second time, from my knowledge, that we are seeing a Night Watch in this tournament for this day, for week 2.
Yes, absolutely. I am super excited to see how this Night Watch will play against against this team. This map can be a little tricky for Night Watch as it does have a lot of high walls. So we will see how the Hunter remedies this. So we're going in for the spawns right away. Looks like we will be having an Antiquarian bottom and then a first officer in the center. They will be switching the Antiquarian to the top, having the Emil debating where he's going. They are running out of time though. The survivors are quickly plotting out their escape routes, having the psychologist right next to the patient. However, it does look like the Night Watch, also same as the Alva, wanting to get good access of those 3 survivors. We will be seeing how they manage to play this out. If played correctly, they can push that psychologist into pushing out the patient from his cipher, if played well. We will be seeing, though, how the Lost Woods survivors can play around this. That is a good opportunity to double kite with these two and get a good support in. However, let's see how they decide to play with the help of an Antiquarian as well. They can do a lot of stuff in against the Night Watch, who's pretty weak against an Antiquarian, as she can stun him out of his wind and negate his stacks, really.
Yeah, I will say it is a little surprising that they don't have the psychologist in Factory. Yeah, she can take multiple hits, but Patient can gain a lot of distance because of the hooks that he has. So it is a little surprising on that front.
Absolutely. But we will be seeing what the Lost Woods survivors have in store for us. I'm super excited to see what they may play. Hopefully they will not make me cry like their Alva did when they played my heart with that Mad Eyes. I was so excited and then they broke my heart. But thankfully they still delivered with a beautiful Alva gameplay. Let's hope that the survivors can remedy my heart as well, or else I will be suing them and they will be hearing from my lawyer very much in the near future.
They will be the ones doing our taxes.
Absolutely. Thank you. I desperately require it. I have committed tax evasion on accident for the past 2 months.
Hey, real quick question. Can you see the Hunter at all? Or
yes,
is he an invisible man?
He...
He is going into middle, but it doesn't seem like anyone is there. Looks like the first officer did rotate out the Renee Hunter, trying to find their first target, going to go over to the psychologist for first chase.
Able to find the psychologist right away. Psychologist running for her life. It looks like she will be patiently waiting for the Night Watch to make the first move. Beautiful from the psychologist. Very well done with the patience. She will be carrying broken windows. However, Night Watch is
blind space.
Absolutely. So it does look like she will have to reroute having to move around in this area. Confined space is usually really good with Night Watch in this kind of map because of how many windows and walls there are. It does look like the psychologist is ready to get her speed boost, but the Night Watch is not ready to let go just yet. He will be using his wind to be able to slow her down, unable to give her, or unwilling to give her that speed boost. Ooh.
Yeah, it does look like that they are in, or at least they were in Shack, but now she's going to come over to Triple Pallet, where she is unfortunately going to go down. Did you see if Basement was in the Shack?
It does look like Basement is in Shack. Unfortunately, the pallet is still up. The Ada was not able to drop it down, so we will be seeing a Basement play here. This is really unfortunate for the survivors. We have seen several times before in week 1 how Basement can really change a game, making it really difficult to have to deal with it. It does look like the Night Watch is patrolling around trying to figure out who is going for that rescue. There will be 2 survivors.
Though.
Beautiful blink! Catching the first officer off guard. First officer unwilling to go in for that rescue.
It does look like the Antiquarian, though, is going to sneak in and get the backdoor rescue.
This is looking really bad for the first officer, though. Going down right away. Ooh, baiting out the Antiquarian hit. Ooh, we will be seeing the Antiquarian take a hit here. This is not looking good for the survivors. Right off the bat. Oh, the Antiquarian is, however, unwilling to relent, though. She will be supporting the psychologist. Unfortunately for the Night Watch, she does end up running into a box. That is not looking good for the Night Watch. The psychologist does get a good amount of distance.
Yeah, we do see the psychologist just coming into this area, trying to get as far away from that basement as possible, so that way we don't have a repeat situation. And it's going to use this one pallet area at the front gate. Does actually win that mind game. Doesn't quite get a pallet stun, but does win that. Not even going to risk taking the vault there. And we do see the dungeon is actually nearby. So that could be coming into play later on.
Absolutely. We do see the psychologist going into her second chair, though. The Night Watch still patrolling around, definitely getting a pressure on those ciphers. However, these survivors quickly managed to adapt, managing to heal up the first officer in time. This is looking really, really good for the survivors right now. If they can keep the psychologist alive for a good amount of time. Oh, the Night Watch still managing to get that hit on the first officer. Beautifully done from him.
From the Night Watch.
Quite. It does look, however, like the ciphers are almost done. This is looking like a tie game for the Hunter. Lost Woods and Renee are quite at odds right now. Good managing to really keep each other on each other's toes, unwilling to let up. It looks like that. Oh, barely manages to get that pickup before that cipher gets popped. The survivors will be popping that cipher, though. And they will be heading towards their gates already. First officer going away to hide. Unfortunately, Night Watch does end up catching him. Oh, beautifully done! Manages to pull the first officer in. Very, very beautiful. Let's see where the Night Watch heads. Refusing to go to basement, going instead for going near the gate, wanting to get that harass on there. It looks like the it will be looking like the Antiquarian is the one doing the gate, which is really unfortunate. She does not have much of a but the Night Watch does not see her. Manages to figure out where she is though. Looks like the Antiquarian will be going down. Manages to get that flywheel out. Beautifully done from the Hunter. Now the survivors are in a really bad situation. It does look like the patient will be trying to go in for that first officer though. Unfortunately the Night Watch does not have any kind of warp, but he is a Night Watch. He will be able to make it really quickly over there. Unfortunately patient does have Tide, which means it's going to be really tough to get those survivors down without either of them, surviving for a decent amount of time afterwards with the invincibility of Tide.
Yeah, that is going to be a free extra 20 seconds of kiting time for that first officer if he is spotted out. I was going to say that if the first officer managed to survive just a little longer so that that gate could get open, the patient could have used his Tide to try and secure a 3-man. But unfortunately, the first officer did go down early, and he just went down again. And it doesn't look like the patient's going to be able to come in for that Antiquarian. He may just have to play for dungeon here. Absolutely.
It looks like he might have to play for the 1-man. because the Night Watch has confined space and attention, he will not be able to make it to the gate though. But that does settle Renee's win for the second round. If the patient makes it out, yes, Renee will be taking this one for the win as well. Beautifully done from both sides. Very, very well done. I would say the Lost Wood survivors were at a bit of a disadvantage against an invisible hunter. Despite that,
Absolutely.
I think they still managed to do absolutely amazing. Very well done from both sides. Um, super, super interesting. I love the matchup. We saw an amazing Hermit, a great wax artist, and an absolutely phenomenal Opera and Night Watch. Super well done. That endgame was absolutely phenomenal, coming from both sides.
Yeah, I will say, especially the Lostwood survivors definitely do play their end games very well. Very good map presence from everyone involved, and they really understood how in endgame how to rotate and how to just make sure that they get caught in the least amount of time, or in the make sure they don't
In
get
the least
caught.
amount of time?
Listen,
I think you're talking about me right there. That
not
last
true.
I checked, I wasn't in Lost Woods. I don't remember being recruited so suddenly. Um,
Making sure that
it
they
does
don't get caught in a small amount of time, and especially
absolutely.
being able to just, especially with that hermit, being able to just control the entire map, especially because it was Arms Factory and Hermit. I think he does do good on smaller maps, correct?
He does do decent on smaller maps. However, he was at a disadvantage with all the high walls that he had to deal with. Yet still managing to pull off phenomenal mind games and managing to remedy it as such. Beautifully done from the Hermit. Absolutely impeccable.
Yeah, all of these hunters and survivors are very talented. They all just know
Absolutely.
what they are doing when it comes to playing the game. And unlike me, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
They are superior beings to us commentators who are simply here just to giggle and look pretty, I suppose. Um
Well, we can
and talk
pretend we
about
look pretty.
taxes. Absolutely. But we did see a great play from both sides. I would say the Lost Woods Hunter and the Renee Hunter is they're both quite forces to be reckoned with. Um Absolutely units. Very beautifully done. I would say I'm very impressed with the Alva being able to catch up even with such an old age, his hair graying and his clothes already out of style since 1983, yet still managing to have great eyesight, much better than me, and I am not that old. At least I wish I wasn't.
Yeah, definitely good job on both sides. Are we going into a round three?
I don't believe so.
All
No.
right.
Renee has successfully won both rounds, so the victory will be going to Renee, I believe. Congratulations to the Renee survivors for collecting another win into their hands. Beautifully done. Um, we will. That was a great display of game sense and power, both from the Renee and the Lost Woods survivors. Beautifully done. The Lost Woods hunters bringing up a great game. Absolutely. Great skills and such. It was quite impressive being. It was quite an honor. I'm sorry, I am dyslexic. Apparently, my brain has been rotting from playing too much Identity 5. I am now going to have nightmares and wake up in a crying fit about how I literally got terror shocked on a rescue. We're not going to talk about that. Anyways, good job on the with the Lost Woods survivors and the Renee survivors, along with the Lost Woods Hunter and the Renee Hunter, doing an absolutely phenomenal play from both sides, keeping me on my toes 90% of the time. I think my feet hurt. I am going to go check out with my doctor to see if I potentially have not developed any type of arthritis or potentially have dislocated a bone from how scared I was.
Yeah, definitely good job from both sides here. Congratulations to Renee. A very powerful team, I will say. And yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yes,
both sides have
congratulations to
played
both of them.
really well. Yeah. So congratulations to both Renee and Lost Woods. Well done, Renee, for collecting a point to move up in the brackets. Or not the brackets, sorry, the group. Very well done. But yeah, that should be all of the rounds for Renee versus Lost Woods. I have been 709 AM, and this has been Grayscale HD being your commentators. Thank you for letting us commentate for you guys today. We will see you guys for the next commentating.